Pete, the president! You have to...
Songbird! God damn it! Holy shit! Shit! Fuck me! Oh. Okay. Got this. Save the president. Sure. No fucking problem.
And you know what, folks?
Ooh, I about forgot to grab my mic for that one. I'm going bad. Pretty hard to record a review if you forget your mic. Well, it's just been under 3 years since Cyberpunk 2077 had its less than ideal launch for most consumers and gamers. Met with criticism due to reviewers apparently receiving a different release version than the retail version that was released to customers, skipping the bugs and issues that plebs called consumers received. Now, I must admit, I actually only had two real issues with the game. One was an NPC T-posing, rather than walking out the diner cutscene with Takamura and Johnny. That one, Tom's Diner, I believe it was called, as well as an audio bug that was quickly resolved by just updating my GeForce drivers. So, other than that, my 9900K and RTX 2090 build was a pretty hefty battle station at the time, and the game performed great for me. Phantom Liberty really isn't the only item here in CP77's 2.0 release. That came a week ahead of Phantom Liberty's launch and truly changed the game kind of vastly. The skill system was completely overhauled. Police AI was overhauled. The armor system was overhauled. The cyberware system was overhauled. Vehicles are now manageable to drive around, so that system was overhauled, and an overhaul to the healing and consumable item system, so your grenades and healing items. There's other numerous small changes as well, but these really are the main points, main things that were changed that you will notice in the game. 2.0 finally delivers on the promises made of the title at its launch. But there is more to this package, and that is the Phantom Liberty expansion itself. Phantom Liberty can be accessed once you've cleared the base game's story missions that take you through Pacifica. The zone of Dogtown, the District Dogtown, ran by former NUSA Colonel Kurt Hansen, is where you'll be taken for a majority of the expansion. Outside of a few times, you'll leave to do a few things here or there. Some of the side missions or gigs some of the side missions will take you out for a brief moment. Only a couple of the Phantom Liberty missions will have you leave, then come back. But you're going to be spending most of your time there in Dogtown. Here, you will participate in an undercover operation, starting with the downing of Space Force 1, holding the president of the NUS, meeting characters whose machinations are never outwardly portrayed by themselves, and culminating in potentially finding a cure for V's fights with the Relic, that corrupted relic that plagues him. You know, the one that Johnny lives on. I must say, this is the best story told in Cyberpunk 2077. The missions are more cinematic, more in-depth, more personal, and full of plenty of more action. While relegated to mostly just Dogtown, they are also quite varied in environments in Dogtown even. You'll be interacting with Somi, a net runner for the FIA, as well as Reed, a field agent for the FIA, most of the time throughout these Dogtown-based missions. Reed, voiced by Idris Elba, while flat in some parts, is overall a fairly well-voiced character. He's definitely not a detriment to the quality of the package and is on par with what we got from Keanu Reeves for Johnny in the base game. And speaking of Johnny Silverhand, Keanu Reeves is back with a bevy of more lines, and he did a much better time this time around. However, Somi is definitely the best voice character in this expansion, and so any mission involving her is set to be a good one. As I said prior, each character you come across in Phantom Liberty has ulterior motives to what they are telling you, what they are planning, what they are being open about. It's up to you to figure this out as you go along. Are they telling the truth? Are they lying? Are they omitting important facts and information? Nothing is as it seems in your game of Spy in Phantom Liberty and in Dogtown. These main missions will run you anywhere from 10 to 15 hours to complete the expansion, but with them come plenty of new gigs at the hands of Mr. Hands, the fixer for Pacifica and now Dogtown, new side content such as procuring cars for El Capitan, and of course plenty of side missions that are available to you. While the main mission comes two 4 endings, and that is just for the Phantom Liberty one. 2 of these endings sprout from one point, and where you'll make a decision, then 2 other ones come from there. Now, overall, while there are 4 endings, there's really only 2. One ending of each will lead you to the same ending of the other. It just gives you kind of a different last level to go through, so you have a few different flavors to choose from. Now, once you do go through the Phantom Liberty's endings, 2 of these options will give you an alternate ending to the base game, which does allow you to skip most of the actual main campaign. You'll be able to just end the game there, and it does give you a new game. So, there you go. Visually, Phantom Liberty is impressive, of course. It's more Cyberpunk 2077, and that's mostly, you know, thanks to DLSS 3.5, which has ray tracing reconstruction. So for those not on RTX 4090s with a 13900K like myself, you will get a noticeable boost to visual quality, especially if you're trying to run ray tracing. This will be a visual quality and performance improvement. When there wasn't much of an improvement for me, in some places around the edges of shadows you can see where the tech isn't quite there since this ray tracing reconstruction is brand new. But overall, this will be a massive improvement for a majority of people on NVIDIA cards who are not running 4090s. While the experience when playing through the story of Phantom Liberty is great, the additional added content is good, the revamped systems are fun, not all is preem in Night City with this release. New bugs have reared their ugly head. Though, from my research and interaction with others facing the same bugs that I have, it really only affects people in my specific situation. Numerous users, including myself, are reporting hard crashes to the desktop when using a combination of RTX 4090 cards and i9-13900 CPUs. And we're all on NVMEs. Even further, this is on, like I said, NVMe drives. So we're not trying to use old HDD drives or even SSDs, we're using the fastest drives that we have available. The game will crash, and half the time it will state that the files are corrupted, and will want you to do a verification, which takes even more time. No matter how many verifications, how many fresh installs, how much messing with my CPU's clocking, checking various drivers to make sure they are in fact up to date, attempting to run the game in administrator mode, nothing has solved these issues for myself and others. This is highly unfortunate. Crashes would come mid-conversation in story missions. They would come mid-conversation in side missions or gigs. They would just come mid-mission. They would come at random times just running around the open world. Or at a new activity. They would occur during loading screens. It doesn't matter. Their exact cause can't be pinpointed, which makes this all the more frustrating. Adding to the frustration, for me personally, like I stated in the beginning, I really didn't have any issues with the base launch of Cyberpunk 2077. I didn't run into any awful bugs or anything like that. And so now that I'm receiving them, it is really frustrating. Phantom Liberty seems to be an excellent addition and send-off for Cyberpunk 2077. CDPR has stated that with this, work on the second entry into the series is now in full swing, along with an engine switch. They're saying bye-bye to Red Engine. Adding the enjoyable spy-like thriller story, vastly updating the game's systems more in line with what they promised that the game would be like 3 years ago at their release, as well as a new district that feels more full and fleshed out than any other district in the game. Unfortunately, be it the engine or other woes at CDPR, such as just not optimizing the game fairly well from the Cyberpunk team, the title just cannot escape from performance issues. For every positive that Phantom Liberty brings to the table, it also brings a major negative for me, and that is the constant crashing that I went through. While at $30, I'd say if I removed all the time I spent crashing and verifying files, as well as the numerous other troubleshooting steps I went through, I would have received my money's worth well over time and time again. The frustration from the crashing and performance issues of the title, though, do detract from the overall fun experience. I would say, if you are on top-end PC hardware, it's just best if you wait to purchase Phantom Liberty, or go ahead and dive in if you want to deal with all the crashing.
Fucking hell.
Once again, a fantastic game is marred, unfortunately, by technical and performance woes.